What's up, interwebs? It's your realtor, Jeremy, and it's Friday, and I felt the need to record a video today. I'm trying to be as clear and concise as I can to talk about a bunch of headlines that are in the news right now, specifically around Zillow and around foreclosures. Let's hit these from a couple different angles. About a week and a half ago, Zillow announced that they were pausing the purchasing of new homes through their Zillow Offers program. They said they were doing this so they could focus on selling the inventory they currently had. Then this week, they actually announced they were completely closing their Zillow Offers program and firing like 25% of their staff and taking their 7,000 houses, and they were going to try to just dump them. Basically try to sell them to probably some other institutional buyer or something like that. And the question, why are they closing their Zillow Offers program? Because they lost $400 million. They weren't making any money. And that has prompted a lot of questions, both from agents and from the public. Zillow Offers, Open Door, OfferPad, there's a couple other companies that have kind of come and gone, but those have been the three big ones in Arizona. They come in, offer you convenience, offer to buy your house from you cash, so that you can not have showings. You've seen the commercials, I'm sure, for all of them. But basically, they were offering convenience. Generally, when they started, they were offering substantially lower than market value for houses. But the last year or two, they've started offering way higher than I really think they should have been. And it was accurate. They were losing money. They were buying houses close to fair market value, then turning around and selling them, usually at the same price they purchased it or less, and then with all the fees and stuff, they were losing money. One of the ways that these companies, these iBuyers, try to make up their money is through mortgage products and title products, meaning they force the buyers to use their mortgage company, they force the buyer to use their title company. I know that when I've looked at helping my clients buy houses that were owned by these iBuyers, they were always trying to force us to use their title company. So they were hoping to make up gains there. Zillow said that they were only getting about 10% or less of their buyers that were buying the homes from Zillow to use their Zillow mortgage products. So the ways that they were kind of hoping to make up some of the loss was not working out. So why would these companies be willing to operate at a loss? Zillow Offers, Open Door, OfferPad, they're kind of tech companies. Zillow was started by a tech guy. And tech companies notoriously and almost across the board function at a loss for the first few years of their operation. Most of the big names that are out there have done it. Google did it, Facebook did it, Tesla did it, SpaceX Starlink is doing it right now. They're functioning at a major loss right now because they believe there's a major windfall once their systems are up and going. And tech companies do this because they believe either their product, once it hits maturity, will be really valuable, but it takes time, research and development, or maybe deploying it to enough people that they get kind of hooked on it, and then they'll pay anything for it. I mean, I think about Netflix. I used to pay $7 a month for Netflix, and now I pay $15 or $16 a month for Netflix. So it does work. It has worked for years in the tech sector. But this isn't tech. Real estate isn't tech. The CEO of Zillow started Expedia.com. And his goal with Expedia.com was to rid the world of travel agents because he felt like they were just simply knowledge brokers. That's all they did. They knew what the cost of airplane flights were. They knew what the cost of rental cars were. They knew what the cost of hotels were and how to connect people to those companies. That was their purpose. That was their sole function. And he felt like he could have a technology, Expedia.com, do it better. And he was kind of right. Expedia pretty much decimated the travel agent industry and sparked a whole new industry of online travel websites. Priceline, Hotwire, there's all sorts of them now, but Expedia was the one that kind of started it. And so when he started Zillow, he had that same goal in mind. He felt like real estate agents were the ones who knew the value of houses, who knew the houses that were available, that knew we had the knowledge. And that was the purpose we served, was just simply sharing that knowledge. So he started Zillow, a place where anybody could hop online and look at houses that were for sale. People could also go online and look at their Zestimate, what their house was worth. The problem with that is that Zestimate, more often than not, was really wrong because it's data driven. And house values are not data driven. There are so many factors that come into play. I talk about it in my listing presentation. I don't believe there's any one price for a house, because not only are there market conditions that affect what a house will sell for, there's also personal conditions with the seller that garner what a house will sell for. So there's so many other things wrapped up into a house value that an algorithm was never going to replace a realtor for that. Now, I think it's been a great tool because it gives people a ballpark idea of what their house is worth. I think that's helpful. I don't have a problem with that. But with their Zillow Offers program, they were hoping to go the next step further and have literally the entire process be run by technology. Buying and selling houses would just all happen through Zillow. But it's so complicated. The home purchase process cannot be just automated because every house is unique. I've learned this from being in real estate for 5 years now. Every house is unique. There's something different about almost every transaction I do. You can't account for that with an algorithm. You can't. And when I look at the home buying process, it's not just find the house and there you go, good to go. Because honestly, back in the day, realtors were the ones that found the house for people. More often than not now, a buyer finds a house and lets me know, hey, I found this house, can we go look at it? Because that's just the first step of house buying. That's like the first leg of a 4x100. The first leg is find the house. The next leg is negotiate that offer and that price with the seller. Then the next leg of the race is the inspections and all the due diligence to make sure that this is a good house, or if it's got some problems, we know what they are. And then the last leg is all the title and escrow stuff to get to close and all the lending stuff. So it's a complicated process with so many layers, and every transaction is different. So I never once thought that the whole process would be automated. I definitely didn't see Zillow closing their doors so quickly on their Zillow offers, but I never saw it as a really viable option, especially if the market were to ever slow down and appreciation rates would go down to like 3, 4, 5, 6%. At that point, it would be really difficult for these Zillow offer programs. But unlike a lot of my fellow agents out there in the world, I didn't have a problem with Zillow Offers, Open Door, or OfferPad. These iBuyers, I don't have a problem with them. They serve a purpose. They offer a solution that I can't offer as a realtor. I can't go to my seller and say, hey, here's some cash to buy your house. Let's go buy you something else. I can't offer that. I don't have the funds to do that. Quite frankly, I don't want to do that because eventually I got to sell that house anyway. So they offer a solution that I can't outright offer my sellers. Now, I have partnered with iBuyers. I partnered with Open Door recently for a seller where it was better for them to sell to Open Door, and Open Door worked with me. I got paid my commission that I was due. It was great. Could my seller have netted a little bit more on the open market? Possibly, but we had some deadlines that were in play. And so we reached out to Open Door, actually reached out to all of them, Open Door, OfferPad, and Zillow Offers. Open Doors was by far the strongest offer. So we accepted that offer. And yeah, they were a pain on some points. Title was not great. I had to keep kind of babysitting them and stuff like that. But I've had to do that on transactions with regular sellers and regular buyers. I kind of view the iBuyers as a tool in my toolbox. If I'm helping a buyer buy from an iBuyer company, I know that it's going to be more like dealing with a seller that's a little difficult. So I've never seen the iBuyers as a bad thing. I've seen them as a resource, a potential way to do business. There's always going to be people that are looking for the best price on something or the most convenient option. And for those people, sometimes these iBuyer programs work. There's all these less expensive options that in the industry have been referred to as disruptors. I don't see them as disruptors. I just see them as a segment of our industry. I look at it like grocery stores. In Arizona, we have the Bash's food chain. Now, they just recently got bought by a California company, but up until recently, they were locally owned. Bash's owned Food City, Bash's, and AJ's Fine Foods. All three of those companies were doing quite well. Even in the pandemic, people were still buying from AJ's Fine Foods because they offer a more luxury, a more high-end product. They offer some more high-end services, things like that. So for people that are looking for that, that's what they're gonna shop there. They're not gonna shop at Bash's. And people that shop at Bash's are looking for a really good price and don't really need or aren't looking for those kind of services. Expedia pretty much decimated travel agents. There are still travel agents out there. and they serve luxury clients. It's one of the reasons you've seen me kind of shift some of my focus to the luxury market, because that is a segment of the market that I believe still appreciates what realtors bring to the table. There's a cost involved, but there's a service I'm providing that's worth it. Zillow's failure at Zillow Offers, some agents will look at it as, yes, good riddance, all these kind of things. I believe iBuyers do serve a beneficial function in our industry. What Zillow closing their Zillow Offers says to me as a realtor is realtors are still necessary. Realtors still bring value. We cannot be replaced by an algorithm. We cannot be replaced by data. There are so many things that come into play when buying and selling real estate. Realtors still offer tangible, real benefits to our buyers and our sellers. That's what it says to me. You know, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. In Arizona, Zillow currently has about 1,000 homes that they own right now. Now, a bunch of them are under contract right now, going to new homeowners. My guess is they probably have about 900 that are actually sitting there waiting for them to actually sell them. So if all of a sudden all of those houses were to drop onto the market, it would make some kind of an impact, but it's not going to make a big enough impact that it'll destroy our market. The houses they own are between 140,000 and like 700,000. It would be substantial for that amount of inventory to hit the market, but in all honesty, be a good thing, because then we'd get a bunch of houses sold and then we'd be right back in the same spot we are, because we're continuing to grow our state population-wise. So even their inventory in the market is not going to make a big deal. The other headline I've been seeing is foreclosures are on the rise. And they are. Foreclosures are on the rise. Did you know that in the entire United States in 2019, there was an average of 40,000 foreclosures every month? During the pandemic, that number went down to about 4,000. Yes, foreclosures have risen and are averaging about 25,000 a month. We're still not at the foreclosure levels that we would consider normal. We're only about half of the foreclosure numbers that we would consider normal. So when you see the clickbaity headlines like foreclosures are up, is a market crash coming? No, it's not. Yes, foreclosures are on the rise for sure, because a lot of these forbearance programs are ending and stuff like that. But no, there's no market crash coming. No, I can't predict the future, but all indications are that even if all those homes from Zillow drop on the market and we have a bunch of foreclosures happen, it's still not going to be enough to make a dent in what we have right now. Our inventory levels are so low. We need literally 3 times the number of houses. The last time I looked at the 500,000 and less inventory numbers, we were at about 2,200 last weekend. We need literally 4,000 more houses to hit the market right now for it to look anything like a balanced market. And I think we have buyers that have left the market that haven't quite come back yet. So yeah, there's just no indication of that. I hope this answered some of the questions and gave you a little insight as to what's been going on with the headlines. If you got a question or a comment or a thought about it, drop it in a comment below. Hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend, and I'll continue to keep you guys updated on stuff. When I see information that's flying around that I feel is really misleading, I will pop on and tell you non-clickbait style what I think is going on. And as always, if you see something and you have a question for me, hit me up. I got all the socials. I got the Instagram. I got the Facebook. I got the YouTubes. I got the all sorts of stuff. Give me a call. Just Google my name. It's easy to find a way to get a hold of me. I'm happy to share with you my insights on what's going on. And I hope you guys have a great weekend.